This is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Friend request, subscribe. Let's speak boxing. Big night of fights that took place. You had Willie Monroe Jr. stepping into the ring against Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Before I go ahead and speak about that fight, let's talk about Willie Monroe. Before he stepped into this ring, he was 19-1. He's from Ithaca, New York. In his last major fight, he took on in January. He defeated Brian Vera, unanimous decision. Gennady Golovkin, you guys know, he's the most feared fighter in the middleweight division. A lot of people have been ducking, they've been dodging him. His last fight was in February. He TKO'd Martin Murray, which is a legitimate middleweight contender. But anyways, coming into this fight, I got to give credit when credit's due. You know, Monroe was able to do something that many fighters are not willing to do, and that's basically ask for a shot to take on Triple G, the feared one, Gennady Golovkin. A lot of top fighters are not willing to fight him, not willing to step into the ring. But, you know, much heart shown right there coming into the ring against Monroe stepping into the ring. And, like, that's an accomplishment right there. But what can I say? That fight, Triple G just continues to dominate the 160 division. You know, he completely dominates. And what I mean by dominating fashion, he's knocking people out left and right. In this fight, you know, he scored 3 knockdowns and stopped Monroe into the 6th round. You know, the first round was a little bit slow, but he turned it up in the 2nd round. You know, he stunned Monroe. Monroe didn't even know what he got knocked down with twice, as far as shot-wise. But like I said, Monroe showed a lot of heart besides just taking into this fight. He was able to survive. You know, the first knockdown that happened, he caught him with Triple G caught him with the left hook, real bad, hurt Monroe, and moments later he got knocked down with the overhand right. But like I said, Monroe showed a lot of heart, just taking this fight, but continued to show heart throughout the fight. He was able to survive the first round, but he actually started to turn it up. You know, he showed some life in the 4th round and the 5th round. He caught Golovkin with Triple G with some solid punches. But wasn't really able to do anything with Golovkin. You know, Triple G was able to eat him and just completely, you know, walk through him and just brush him off. And whatever success he had in the 4th and the 5th round, actually, you know, fell short. Why? Because Triple G, coming into the 6th round, he caught Monroe with a flurry of punches and caught him with a devastating right hand, dropping him for the 3rd time. Monroe was able to come up to his feet, but he was in bad shape. You know, he actually told the referee, I'm not sure what he told him, but he was just like, I'm done. I'm completely done. It looks like he said he was completely done. But what can I say? You know, as predicted, you know, Monroe, he was an underdog coming into this fight. I wanted to see how long he could last. He lasted 6 rounds, but it didn't show too much. You know, Golovkin was able just to you know, get comfortable and, you know, eventually just catch him. You know, Golovkin improved his record to 33-0 with 30 KOs, which is absolutely insane. He actually has the highest knockout percentage in middleweight history. Actually, he has 20 stoppages in a row. That's completely crazy. This is actually his 14th in a row as far as retaining his title. They said he tied Hall of Famer Carlos Monzon for the 2nd place in middleweight history. Actually, Bernard Hopkins holds the 1st place, but he actually has 20 title defenses and was able to retain his title 20 times. So he has 6. Who's going to be the next 6 people? You know, Golovkin has 6 more in a row. Go ahead to tie Bernard Hopkins for that record. But who's next? What's next for Triple G? Not too many big names out there. You know, him and his team are planning. They have a busy schedule already set up. Like I was saying earlier, he fought in February. He took on Martin Murray. Was able to knock out Martin Murray in February. He stated that after this fight, he wanted to step back into the ring in September, possibly out of the country, Mexico, England, or Germany. And actually, after that fight in September, he would want to step back into the ring in December of this year. So that'll actually be 4 fights in 1 year. But what's next? You know, he was speaking about Canelo Alvarez. That fight, if that fight was going to happen, that fight's possibly going to happen next year. But Cotto is his mandatory challenger. And like Triple G said, you know, he respects Miguel Cotto. He's a great champion. if Miguel Cotto, let's see after the Miguel Cotto fight, see what happens. If he wins, he's just going to be waiting. He's going to be waiting for Cotto. And like I said, Cotto's the mandatory title holder, a mandatory challenger. So Cotto needs to step up and take that fight if he comes out victorious in his next fight, which I'm going to have my fight predictions in my next series of videos that I go ahead and do. He also went on and on. He spoke about Andre Ward. He also thinks Andre Ward, he respects Andre Ward. And he even said, maybe Andre Ward's not ready right now. But right now, he's, the list of fighters, he's going to take on Canelo, he's going to possibly take on Cotto, and then he's going to go after Andre Ward. Those 3 fights are big for boxing, and they just need to happen, They're big-ass fights. The Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin, that's a major fight. The Cotto versus Golovkin, that's a hell of a fight. Golovkin versus Ward, which I would love to see that fight happen first before the Canelo and Cotto fight. A lot of people are just, a lot of people are calling out Mayweather. Mayweather should come up and wait and stuff like that. But Golovkin's just sitting in middleweight. He's dominating. He's completely dominating that division. So either he comes up and wait or do something, But like I said, a lot of fighters don't want to fight him. But all in all, he's dominating. All he can do is just take on new contenders, new matches until Canelo, Cotto, and Ward step up to the plate and take the challenge. But anyways, guys, this is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. From request, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm going to continue to create feedback as far as my fight predictions and the videos of these upcoming fights and things like that. The Cotto fight, what's the next for Canelo? What's the next for Mayweather? Is Mayweather going to go ahead and take on Pacquiao too? I'm going to give a little feedback on that. But anyways, guys, from request, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about Triple G and who should be his next contender. Have a good one.